Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I am a master manifester, and I'm sure you are too because you're watching content like this. The name of this channel is Manifesting Magic the Practical Way because there are a lot of practicalities to manifesting the lives that we choose, right? We have our emotional side, we have our intuitive side, and we also have our very practical and tangible side, right? Nonetheless, and all these sides need attention. Um, what I'm discussing today is purpose, and I'm not talking about your purpose per se, because I'm always talking about your purpose when I'm talking in these things. I'm discussing the purpose of everything in your life. Sometimes it is imperative that we take a hard look at every major aspect of our lives and figure out, does this serve a purpose in my life? I don't think there's anything wrong with that because distractions can be so they can come in a form of so many different types of distractions. I guess that's the best way to say it. It can be so varied that you can trick yourself into thinking that something has a purpose when it's really just another distraction, right? For example, my daughters laugh at me because in my cell phone, it has what the person's purpose is next to everybody's name. It's just the way that I think, right? So next to my brother, I have his name, then says brother. I have, my niece's and nephew's name and it says niece or it says nephew. That's important to me because those positions in my contact list are extremely valuable because my time and energy is valuable to me. And that's what it's supposed to be. So when I'm looking at these people that are taking up permanent space in my heart or in my mind, they have to be of some significance and also needs to be some type of a positive experience too when it relates to the purpose for whoever it is, right? This can be people. This can be a position, a job, right? Career, right? You have to look around and say, okay, yes, we know you want a paycheck. Everybody wants to get paid for doing something they know how to do, right? But outside of that, you can get a paycheck from anywhere. Is the position that you are currently on, is it serving a purpose in your life that you would love for your life's work to serve, right? Do you feel good about it? Is it your best value? Is it your best self? Is it a purpose in that position that's leading you to a higher position that you believe is the pathway to get there, right? So that's like no matter what you're doing, you can still find a way to find, okay, is this purposeful or not, right? One of the biggest things that I think people run into when it comes to creating the life that they choose in regulating their lifestyles and their environments is eliminating things that are distractions that are not serving them, right? Because you don't want to be all work and no play. That's not fun. But you also want to make sure that you're finding a good balance, right? So this is the thing. My daughter always, they laugh at me because I'm not a shoot the breeze kind of person, right? I like, how people have neighbors and they just like, oh girl, the weather was this and that was, I just never been, I get no value out of those conversations, right? So for me, those type of conversations serve no purpose. Now, for someone else, that serves the purpose of them being able to connect with the world, of feeling like they're not alone, of feeling like there's a bigger group or community around them, right? That's important to them. So for me, chatting with neighbors and all that's a distraction. For someone else, it's bringing them closer to their purpose, right? So you have to decide, what are those things in your life that are distractions, or is it serving a specific purpose in your life, right? This can be anything from traditions and rituals that you do, right? I know something when you're a part of large families, there's a lot of rituals and traditions. And then when you get older, you can decide, do I want to participate in that one? Do I want to participate in this one? But just know that your lack of participation or your lack of involvement comes with a result, right? It's kind of like they say free speech. You can have free speech and you can run around and say everything you want, but that doesn't mean you're not going to have the repercussions of the way other people feel about what you've said, right? There's supposed to be no legal sanctions, but social sanctions are always there. People are always looking to judge something that you're doing. So like when you're part of these big groups, families, environments, you have to decide, are these gatherings purposeful for me, right? I mean, that's just who I am as a person. I don't like to spend my time doing things that's going to lead me down a direction of being so caught up in what other people have going on that I lose my foundation and my purpose for myself. And the reason why I stay on guard with this so much is because there's nobody else guarding this space but me. There's nobody else guarding this space but me. So if I turn my back for 1 second, if I look over here, if I'm doing this or I'm doing that, then that means people can sneak in that I'm not paying attention to, right? It's like being a bouncer at your own club. The club is your brain and your mental space and your environment and your home and your sanctuary. I don't let anybody into my house. Most people don't, right? I find extroverts don't really have this rule. Anybody can come in their house. Oh, want to check something out? Come on, you know. I was a big argument I always had with my ex-husband. I hated him traipsing random people through the house that I didn't know of when I didn't know they were coming. And who are these people? Why are we letting this energy pass our foyer? Right? That is how I am. I'm big on that. So when you definitely have a lifestyle where you are real protective of the energy in it, you're real protective of your purpose, you're real protective of your mindset, you're going to come against people that don't believe in that don't like it. But at the end of the day, you have to figure out, is this thing purposeful? Is it serving the right purpose? Is it giving me something that I need to receive, right? So sometimes we can be told to be grateful for things that we don't want. That happens often. And I always tell people in this situation, still be grateful. Even if it's something that you didn't want, still be grateful, because that is just another step to taking you towards something that you do want, right? So when you find something that shows up and you like, this doesn't really have a purpose, it is kind of distracting. It is kind of something that I'm just not necessarily in alignment with, or authentically or organically in touch with. That's when you have to decide, is like, okay, do I want to make this thing a permanent aspect of my life? Do I want to maneuver all the other important, purposeful things around in order to accommodate this thing? And if I don't accommodate this thing that I call a distraction or something that's off my purpose, what are the social sanctions or the repercussions related to me putting my own desires first in this area, right? That's what you got to do with everything. So just keep that in mind. Everything in your life, everything in your environment, all the people, the activities, how you spend your time, all of that should be serving some larger purpose. And this is the thing. You want to get to where this thought of purpose and this thought of how is this affecting my world? How is this, and how is this impacting me to some degree? When you have to do this on a regular basis, it's like doing a cleanup, right? A weekly cleanup, a monthly, a daily, whatever. I say daily. I say get up daily and go, what do I have planned for the day? What do I want to get into, right? I've been starting my meditations at the beginning of the day again, because I kind of missed out on doing that by just rushing around in the morning and trying to get too much done. So I'm like, I sit there and I'm thinking, what is it that I have in mind today that's going to be serving a purpose and what's not? And sometimes that is do nothing for 7 hours. Nothing. When I tell you absolutely nothing, it's really hard for me to do. But, and so what I said, this purpose is serving as a moment to reset my brain, as a moment to clear and clean everything out, as a moment to create some space and peace in my mind and my environment so that I can tackle those things that are important the very next day, right? So you have to decide, is this purposeful for me or is it not? And we usually know really quickly, is this a distraction or is it not? If you got to fight with something on whether it's a distraction or a purpose, it's probably a distraction, right? Generally, things that are connected to our higher self, our higher purpose, and our higher understanding, and our best version of ourselves, our most authentic and organic version of who we are, those things we don't have to overly contemplate in our head about, is it purposeful or is it not? Generally, that's, if it's a person, it's somebody who's right on the edge of being tossed out. And you're trying to decide, well, there's these good parts, there are these good parts. But if it's not serving purpose right now in your life and all that, releasing them is also freedom for them. They can go do something that's more purposeful and less distracting, and then take charge of their lives, right? They can go do whatever they want. So you just have to make sure that you're always in a position to say, is this serving my higher good? Is this for my purpose? Is this a distraction? Is this person a distraction? Is this behavior a distraction? Is this mindset a distraction? Is this neighborhood a distraction? Are the people in the workplace a distraction? You can't hang around bum thinkers and expect to think like an eagle all day. And that's going to be the next video. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, I hope y'all are having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. And until next time, keep on manifesting magic, man. We only get one of these lives, and you got to do something with it, right? And make sure you have people and places and things appropriately placed in your life so that you are the main character, you are the leader, the leading role, and you are making decisions that you have to see the results of and get feedback from. And when that happens, you're using your critical thinking, you're being more agile, and your lifestyle becomes one of creating purposeful moments and events and people and places and connections, right? It just becomes a default, an automatic thing. And that's what we're trying to go with everything great that we do. Default, automatic, positive, purposeful habits. Hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day.